Hi everybody, welcome to Park It Theme Parks Edition. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jill, and the whole purpose of me making these videos is to help you maximize your theme park experiences. So if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you're watching on IGTV, please give me a follow. Okay, so today's video is going to be a very important one that you won't want to miss. We're going to be discussing two different topics relating to Cedar Point. The first is going to be all about fast lane passes. I'm going to talk about what fast lane passes are and the difference between fast lane passes and fast lane plus passes. I'm also going to tell you about how much they cost and whether or not I think they're worth it. The second topic we're going to discuss is the dining plan. I purchased a dining plan when I was at Cedar Point, and I want to tell you about my experience. I want to tell you whether or not I thought it was worth it. I want to tell you about the cost, and I want to just give you some general things to think about if you are considering purchasing a dining plan. Okay, so we're just going to jump right in. The first question I want to answer is, what are fast lane passes? Fast lane passes allow you to skip a big part of the line, which will save you a ton of time. The fast lane line is a separate line and a separate entrance from the regular line, just so you know. What it is they give you a wristband, and then there's certain checkpoints in the line where they check your wristband. It's usually when you get on the ride, and then there's another checkpoint, usually right as you're about to get on the coaster or whatever ride it is that you're going on. The wristbands are different colors for the different days, and they usually have a different ride on them. Fast lane passes are similar to the Disney Fast Pass system, except I think the biggest difference is that with Disney Fast Passes, you usually have to book them with the app, or you have to go get one from a kiosk and have a paper copy as you're getting on the attraction. Whereas fast lane passes, you enter the line and you just show your wristband. Okay, jumping on to the second question that I want to answer, which is, what is the difference between a fast lane pass and a fast lane plus pass? And there are two main differences. One is the cost, and the second is the attractions that you are allowed to get on with those passes. Here is a list of all the rides you can get on with Fast Lane Pass and Fast Lane Plus Pass. So with a Fast Lane Plus Pass, you're actually able to get in the quicker line for Steel Vengeance, Maverick, Top Thrill Dragster, and Millennium Force. Whereas with a regular Fast Lane Pass, you can't get on those 4 attractions. You can still get on plenty of other attractions, so it will still save you a lot of time, but it is a little bit more limited. However, the Fast Lane Plus Pass does cost more, just so that you're aware. Okay, on to question number 3, which is one of the most important questions, which is, how much do Fast Lane Passes cost and how much do Fast Lane Plus Passes cost? Well, right now it's pre-season, so they're a pretty good deal online. You can get a Fast Lane Pass for $67, and you can get a Fast Lane Plus Pass for $87. Now keep in mind that that's only for one day. So if you're going for more than one day and you want a Fast Lane Plus Pass or a Fast Lane Pass, you're gonna have to pay for every single day that you go. Keep in mind though, that the amount of times that you can ride these rides is unlimited, which is really nice. So you can get on a ride as many times as you want, as long as you've got your Fast Lane Pass or Fast Lane Plus Pass. If you are lucky enough to be a season pass holder, which would be amazing, you can add Fast Lane Plus Passes onto your season passes. There isn't an option to add just a regular Fast Lane Pass, only Fast Lane Plus Passes. And so what it is if you have a season pass to Cedar Point, it's called the Gold Pass add-on, and that is for $775. And then if you have a Platinum Pass, which lets you into any Cedar Fair park, you can add a Fast Lane Plus Pass for $875. I do have one more question about Fast Lane Passes that I want to answer, which is whether or not I think it's worth it. And we're gonna get to that in just a second. By the way, if you're finding value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please comment below if you've had experience with Fast Lane Passes yourself so that you can help my little community out. I wanted to tell you about some personal experiences that I had using my Fast Lane Plus Passes so that you can keep a few things in mind. Cedar Point does not give any refunds for weather. So there was one particular day that we had booked a Fast Lane Plus Pass in advance, and then it ended up being a really rainy day with severe thunder showers. And the park closed from 4 p.m. on and did not open for the rest of the night. And the sad thing is that we had Fast Lane Plus Passes, which are the fast passes, and we really didn't get to use them from 5 o'clock on. And I went to guest services, and Cedar Point said that they would not refund us and that we could not use a Fast Lane Plus Pass for tomorrow. And just remember that if you get a Fast Lane Plus Pass, and it's bad weather, you will not get a refund. So just be careful about what days you choose. Make sure you pay attention to the weather. The next day, which ended up being sunny, but I hadn't purchased a Fastlane Plus pass for in advance, I decided to purchase one on the spot. And that day, they were like $99. So it was super expensive to purchase one on the spot, but it's also the type of thing you kind of have to weigh in your mind and decide, do I want to get the better deal online now and just hope that the weather is going to be good, or do I want to wait and make sure that the weather is good when I get there? So you're going to have to kind of weigh that out in your mind and make that decision. Okay, so now moving on to question number 4, which is, do I think Fastlane Plus passes and Fastlane passes are worth it? And the answer is absolutely. It was absolutely worth it for someone like me who was coming all the way from Salt Lake City, Utah, and I only had 2 days at Cedar Point. Because the amount of rides that I rode in those 2 days with my Fastlane Plus pass, it would have taken me a week to ride otherwise. I don't even know if I would have gotten in all of those rides in a week. I was able to ride Steel Vengeance 10 times. I was able to ride Top Thrill Dragster 3 times. It broke down a lot, otherwise I probably would have ridden it more with my Fastlane Plus pass. I was able to ride all of the rides multiple times, and it made everything so much faster. It is so much quicker. I never waited in a fast lane line for more than 10 minutes. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Jill, these fast lane passes and Fastlane Plus passes are so expensive. It's more expensive to pay for those passes than it is to pay to get into the park. And to that I say, time is money. For someone like me, I would have had to book extra nights at my very expensive hotel. I stayed at Hotel Breakers and I made a video review of that if you want to see about my experience there. But I would have had to book extra nights at my hotel, and that would have been way more expensive than purchasing these Fastlane Plus passes. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, if you're a local and you have a season pass and you have the luxury of being able to just show up to Cedar Point and only stay for a few hours and get some rides in and then go home, it might not be worth it to you. I think if you live that close, you can kind of figure out when the rides are less crowded and just show up at those times. So for you locals, it might not be worth it, but if you are coming from out of state, I feel like it's an absolute must. You will cover so much more ground and you will ride so many more rides. And all I have to say is, have you been on Steel Vengeance? It's amazing. You're gonna wanna ride it over and over and over again. And with the Fastlane Plus pass, you can. I was also gonna say, I definitely recommend getting the Fastlane Plus pass. It is more, but in my mind, it's so worth it to be able to ride those top 4 rides. Another thing I wanted to point out is if you are coming to Cedar Point with kids, if you think you don't wanna stand in a line all day, you can definitely be sure that your kids will not wanna stand in line all day. In fact, that's one of the reasons that I decided to get a Fastlane Plus pass on the second day of my trip, is because I had my 9-year-old with me and we stood in line for Steel Vengeance for 2 hours, and her legs got so tired and it was just really frustrating to stand in line that long. So we ended up getting a Fastlane Plus pass partly for that reason. So definitely keep that in mind. Keep in mind who you're traveling with and who's gonna be with you and how patient they are with standing in line. Nobody likes to stand in line, so just get the Fastlane passes. I think it will be worth it. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the second topic for today's video, which is the dining plan at Cedar Point. I did purchase a 2-day dining plan, so all of the information that I'm going to give you is based on prices for the 2-day dining plan for the 2020 season. So I wanted to tell you a couple of things, just some general information that I think you should know, and what the dining plan includes, how the food was, and then I'll give you my opinions at the end because I definitely had some strong opinions. So this season for 2020, the 2-day dining plan is going to cost you $26.99 per person. You get an entree and a side at participating restaurants. Please note the drinks are not included. That's something that I didn't realize when I purchased the dining plan, and I wanted to point that out to you right away. So I think the big question that you're probably wanting to know is, well, Jill, how much money can I save by getting a dining plan? And I think a lot of this just depends on how often you eat. Now, there is no restriction on how many meals you can have other than You have to wait 90 minutes from the time you have your first meal to the time you have your next one, and so on. So the park hours in the summertime are typically 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So if you really took advantage of this dining plan and you really did eat at 90-minute intervals, you would be eating 8 meals a day. And I have a feeling that you are probably not going to be able to eat 8 meals a day. And I also have a feeling that you are probably a coaster enthusiast, which is why you're going to Cedar Point. You're not going there for the food necessarily. That's not the main focus of your trip. The main focus is to be riding these amazing rides and coasters, right? So if you're anything like me, you're gonna wanna maximize your time. I had a protein bar for breakfast, and then I did lunch in the park, dinner in the park, and I think I had one snack. And honestly, I was fine with that, and I was plenty full. So if you're a true coaster enthusiast, you're not really gonna wanna be standing in a bunch of food lines. You're gonna wanna be standing in line for Maverick or Top Thrill Dragster or Steel Vengeance or something like that. And you're not gonna be focused on getting as much food in as you can in one day. I really don't think that that's your goal, is to eat 8 meals in one day. If it is, then the dining plan is probably worth it to you. But if you're like most people, you just wanna go ride the rides and you wanna maximize your time. So I would say to you, the best thing to do is to eat where you are in the park to save time, eat when you're hungry, eat what fills you up, and eat without restrictions. So my final consensus is that I don't think the dining plan is worth it. If you disagree with me, let me know. And if you have any other thoughts that you think could help us out as a community, comment below and let them know too. I had one more thing that I wanted to point out with food. I ate at Panda Express and Johnny Rockets. Both were average, nothing out of this world. I mean, they filled me up, but I wouldn't say that it was anything special. When I was at Johnny Rockets, I wanted to order the bacon cheese fries, and that was not a menu item that was participating with the dining plan, so I couldn't do that. To anyone who gets the dining plan, you're gonna wanna pay attention to this symbol right here, the circle with the red spoon, fork, and knife. If it doesn't have that symbol by it, it means that it's not part of the dining plan and that you will have to pay for it out of pocket, in addition to what you've already paid for the dining plan. So, I'm here at Johnny Rockets, and I think this is good to know, because if you look on the back of the menu, I was gonna get these bacon cheese fries, but they're not part of the dining plan. So just make sure you pay attention to what's on the dining plan. It's sad to not be able to order what you want, right? Especially when you've paid for everything in advance. I think the dining plan is a little bit complicated too, because not all restaurants participate. And then there's items on the menu that aren't included in the dining plan, and I don't understand why they did it that way. So in my mind, I don't think it's worth it. I think it's better off to just try to stick to the same budget of about $30 per day and just eat freely on your own. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching my video. That is all the information I have on those topics today. If you have any more information that can help the community out, please comment below. I'm sure that they would love to hear your suggestions and ideas. Did you find this video helpful? If you didn't, will you tell me what it is that you do want to know about whatever theme park you're traveling to? Thank you so much for watching Park It, Theme Parks Edition. If you don't mind sticking around for just one more minute and taking a little poll that I have, you can click on it in the corner. It's just gonna ask you some questions relating to future content that I want to do for this channel. Thank you so much for watching Park It, Theme Parks Edition. Thank you to those watching on YouTube, to those watching on IGTV. I hope you have a great day. Please remember to follow me on social media. Instagram is @LoveToParkIt and Facebook is Park It Theme Parks Edition. Have a great day. I hope we can connect soon.